Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Fashioniksha. Making of an A-line skirt. So this A-line skirt can be drafted by using two methods. The one is pivot method and as well as in a slash and spread method. So the difference is only this much. In a slash and spread method, we slash the pattern, that is we slash the basic block or basic pattern which we are using. In pivot method, we rotate the pattern which we are using. These are only differences, and so the results will be both are good. So the technical wise, the skirt will have a proper draping. Let's understand how to do a slash and spread method of A-line skirt. So I already have a back pattern. I have taken a back pattern. You can use even a front pattern, depending upon the flare which you require. In the back I have a bigger dart, but whereas in a front I have a small dart. Dart size is smaller. So when the dart size is smaller, the flare will be a lesser when compared to the bigger dart one. So to increase the flare, I have taken a back pattern or a back block. I am making a length of 28 inches length. So before marking a length, trace the waist marking over here and mark the length. So here I am not marking the length of the basic block, I am directly marking the length which I require, so about 28 inches, and draw a line across. Once this is done, draw this dot line till the bottom hem. Trace the dot point. You can use a tracing wheel or you can use any of the sharp object. As it is a point, I am just using a scissor to mark the dot point over here. And now slash the pattern, slash this block from the bottom hem to till the dot point, just a few before the dot point, and fold this dart. So to fold this dart, first always fold the center, fold the center of the dart. Before slashing this line, always make sure the dart folding marks. So if you have already folded the dart neatly, it will be very helpful when you slash it, because after slashing, if you try to make it, will be a little complicated. So that is the reason have the dart marking first, folding marks. Folding mark, so it will be easy on that. Now slash this line. Just at 2 mm before the dot points, I will just stop it. And now, so you can see the spreading. So as soon as I closing the dot, it keeps spread. So the same method, keep it again on the exactly the waistline which you already traced. Keep it properly. Keep any of the weight or any of the object on top of the block. Fold this dart and you can see the other panel got spread. So now keep the objects properly. So trace this waistline and side seam line in the shape, and now you can use a scale to draw a line. So the same applies again. Now measure the length, the 28 length that you wanted. mark at the desired length. Use a hip curve to draw a shape of the bottom line. So here I have drawn the straight line almost from the hip position and till here, till up to the dart line, the shape is almost a fit. For example, see. So now till this position, the skirts will fit properly to the body accurately, like a fitted, that you can say, and after that the flareness will start. Suppose if you want to give a flare from here in the mid of the dart line itself, just below, if just a few inches below the skirt, you can draw a line from here itself, so that it will have only fitted till about on 2 inches to 3 inches of the fitted will be there. After that the flareness will start. So because as you are already increasing the flare from at the mid of the hip depth, so here we are increasing the flare almost just 1 or 2 inches above the hip measurements. So you can see at the dart point, from the dart point you can see, so dart point line, so we are increasing the flare here, and if you want you can increase it above the or mid of the dart length itself. So when you do that, the length or the flareness of the skirt will be more compared to this as well. So there is another method to increase the flare that you can do. So this completes the A-line skirt by using slash and spread method. Mention the terminologies: front, back, cut 2 pieces. Yes, of course it will be unfold, unfold, and a bias cut. So it's not mandatory to cut it in a bias, you can cut it in straight line as well. So it's one of the ideal methods to have a good drape. So now cut it accordingly. I forgot to smoothen the curve, which you can use armhole curve to smoothen the waistline curve. Keep an object. Cut. Waistline. Good. I'm putting the pattern on top of this, so where this grain line indicates, and it should be a parallel to selvages. That's how the bias direction it shows up. So when you are cutting in an open layout method, so this grain line helps a lot in terms of keeping a pattern on the fabric. So I have marked the grain line in a 45-degree angle or in a diagonal direction, or the bias direction, however you can call it as. So this grain line always should be a parallel to a selvage of the fabric. So you can see which is parallel to the selvage, and the grain line is parallel to it, and you can cut this in an unfold. So when you are cutting it in an unfold, so you just have to fold the fabric in this direction, and you're gonna keep this pattern in the fold like this. Even when you are keeping this pattern unfold, you can see the grain line and the selvage which are perpendicular, which are parallel. Grain line and the selvage parallel to each other, and you are cutting the pattern unfold. Here you can see a marking on the fabric. So how we have placed the pattern, and the marking has been done, and including the seam allowances that you can see. In pattern we didn't add any of the seam allowances on A-line skirt. Yes, of course there was a seam allowances was there in the basic block, but not on the A-line skirt pattern. So we left a 1 inches at the bottom hem. So half an inches is more than enough for the A-line skirt. Still, if you want 1 inches bottom fold, you can increase it to another half an inches so that you can fold it for a 1 inches. And at the waist, half an inches. So here we can do with waistband or without waistband. Both the ways we can finish this cut. So here I have not explained how to make the waistband. So as I made it for a without waistband. Here at the side seam, half an inches, waist half an inches, and I am not marked yet to mark at the side seam of this here. So I just kept the pattern. You can see other side of it. This is how the pattern to be placed in a bias direction. So where this grain line is parallel to the selvage of the fabric.